Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today, once again, joined by my business partner, John. How you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Good. And if you guys didn't know, John has a couple of YouTube channels, link in the description below. But I figured I'd have John on the show today because we are going to talk about watch ripoffs, watch scams, times we've either personally or business-wise been ripped off or almost been ripped off. We figured to make good entertainment.
Too many to count.
But of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. I am wearing my Formex Essence, my new sports watch, carbon fiber, very light. Yeah, it's a fun little watch. What about you, buddy?
Vintage Rolex Oyster Precision, 4-digit.
I like that strap.
It's not bad. I made it.
Did you really make it?
No, I didn't make the strap. Are you kidding me?
Guys, go check out delraywatch.com, by the way. Just put up my Ming for sale. But also, guys, forget the Ming. We also have Speak Marins on the site. Brand new. A ton of very cool Art Deco Dubuis and Chaldenbrans. We have some Rolex.
Those are like a 50th of the retail price.
Well, and they're also super cool. I mean, we're talking split-second chronographs for
like
$2,000.
Yeah, like...
I mean, get out of here, right? But anyway, guys, go check it out. A link in the description below. So yeah, John. Times we've almost been ripped off or successfully been ripped off. Do you want to lead us off?
Sure. There's so many times, but I think this one doesn't happen too often, so not enough people know about this one, but it's happened to me more than once, and it's a way that people can really get you, especially when you're on eBay or any way that you're using PayPal. And it doesn't happen enough, so not enough people have talked about this. But basically, I had a Parmigiani Fleurier watch, the Kalpa. I think you probably remember that. Great watch. We've had them at Del Rey, by the way. And I sold it on eBay. This is before we had Del Rey watch, so I sold it on eBay. And the guy received the watch, and he opens up a claim that it was not as described. And and his complaint was that it was a few millimeters off in size, so technically it's not as described. So I took all the information directly from
Parmigiani, right. You didn't sit there and measure it yourself. You used the manufacturer specs.
He took a caliper, and he measured it, a digital caliper, so it had the dimensions that he chose, but he got to choose the dimensions. And so he...
Yeah, depending where on the case he's measuring, yeah.
He uploads that as evidence that's not as described, and he wins... he wins the dispute, but what he wants is he wants a partial refund, and that's the scam.
Of course, what a scumbag.
That's the scam, and so they want a partial refund, and they say, hey, I'm going to return it, or I'm going to get the partial refund, and so I chose not to do the partial refund.
Just give me the watch back.
Send it back. But he dragged his feet, he delayed, and what I found out about a week or two later, meanwhile, I'm like, what's going to go on with this watch? You know, the guy, by the way, he was typing some things in Chinese, some things in English. He was using a translator. It was very unclear what he wanted to do.
Yeah, it's not a racial thing. It's just imagine going through this whole process in broken English, right? It's
not even different languages. And so what happened was he opened up a PayPal dispute, and a PayPal dispute was going on, and I didn't even know about it. So this is at a time, and I think even till today, PayPal and eBay don't directly communicate.
Even though they're technically the same company, it's two different systems.
You can dispute an eBay-related transaction on PayPal and fight it that way, and if your PayPal email is different than your eBay email, you won't even know that it's going on. Just by chance, I logged in, and I saw that he actually won the PayPal dispute and got all of his money back because I just didn't see that... I only had so many days to respond at least, and I didn't see
5 days, I think it is, something like that.
Yeah, and so meanwhile, I was freaking out. I wasn't a watch dealer. I traded watches here and there, but, it was more of a hobby. And so I was freaking out. Wow, this guy really ripped me off. And, meanwhile, I had no idea what I was going to do. But I fought the PayPal, and eventually I did get my money back, but it took so much time. And I found out, the hard way, but... Ultimately, it wasn't that bad. Just a lot of time without a watch or money.
It's just stressful, like typing, going back and forth, explaining the situation again and again and again because, it's annoying.
But how about you?
On a personal level, I can say I've never really been scammed. It's happened. They tried a few times at Del Rey. I mean, my personal favorite was, the dentist who purchased two watches. So gentleman purchases two watches, a Breitling and a two-tone.
Oh, this was ridiculous.
And a two-tone Datejust, right? And we have security systems here at Delray. Like, you got the billing and shipping address must match, signature required, fully insured,
Photocopy of ID.
Photocopy of ID.
If using credit card.
All that good stuff, right? So we ship it, everything matched. We ship it, nice $7,000 sale, whatever. It is what it is. 3 months later, I'm logging into the payment processor to just, do some accounting. And I noticed they filed a chargeback, a MasterCard chargeback, and it was fraud. So I call the gentleman up. I'm like, what do you mean fraud? I mean, I've got a copy of your ID. I've got your signature. Supposedly, someone stole his wallet with his ID and credit card, placed the order, shipped it to his luxury condo building, paid off the doorman to give him the package, and the dentist never received it. And, it was fraud because he never placed a transaction, but, happened to have his ID, his credit card, same address, signature on file. No, the doorman, messed up and gave the package to the wrong guy. I mean, listen, it's the cost of doing business. It doesn't happen often. I will happily say we did not lose. I mean, we lost time. We got a lawyer. We fought it. Maybe it wasn't quite worth it because it was $7,000. And if we didn't win, we would have been out like $14,000 because the lawyer wasn't cheap. But, for me, it's out of principle. I just get really, and John will tell you, I get heated. I mean, you guys know me as a nice guy. I have a little bit of a temper sometimes. It's true. I have a little bit of a temper, and particularly when someone's trying to steal or be dishonest, I get very heated. So for me, it's almost out of principle. I would have spent 20 grand to fight that $7,000 case, which is why I have John here to tell me that I'm being stupid when I do certain things.
But that's us at the dealer level. But to give, some... to kind of like relate this to just maybe you're buying a watch on eBay or maybe you're on the forums or something like that, it's always a good idea to just check the address, right? Like do a little bit of extra research. Google who's actually buying your watch. Go on Google Maps, look up the building that they might be in, look to where you're shipping it. Does it make sense? Are they the person that's supposed to be wiring you for a $10,000 watch, a $2,000
Even though it goes to show that in that last transaction we did everything right and ultimately a happy ending, but there's still ways that people can get screwed. I mean, there's still ways. It doesn't matter how correct and what type of due diligence you do, right?
Yeah, and there really are so many others. Most of them don't work.
Most of them, I mean, listen, we've never been successfully taken.
Sure.
Well, knock on wood. Listen, everybody gets taken at some point. Knock on wood, it hasn't happened yet. But yeah, I mean, it just happens.
What about this crazy one? There was another guy that he bought a watch, and we're only comfortable saying this because he did commit crimes, and it turns out this was actually probably not a nice person. In fact, probably a very horrible person. But there was a guy that bought a watch from us, and he stole his mother's purse, his mother's credit card. He bought an Omega Speedmaster. Great choice. We probably told him in a video to buy it.
Good taste.
Great taste. Iconic, timeless watch for him to last forever. But he stole his mother's purse. He bought it. Completely fabricated
supposedly stole his mother's purse, but he bought it. Yeah, he bought it.
And there was a chargeback on the card, and the mother said, the son stole the card, blah, 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 and, he ended up going to jail, and we looked and we Googled the name because...
And he did end up going to jail.
He ended up going to jail for, bringing a gun to school or something ridiculous like that.
But unfortunately, we're also not a charity. I mean, they charged back. We won the chargeback because the watch was shipped with a signature to the card address on file, and as badly as we feel for certain people, I mean, listen... Not our problem. I mean, I don't know. It's just we're out the product, right? So
I guess maybe at least what I'm trying to say is, in luxury watches, it's fun and games. Most of the time, it's all great. It's dandy.
Sure.
But like anything else in the world, there's little things that can happen, and so it's wise to just do the research.
Just always be alert, right? Like never get comfortable. I think it's when you get comfortable and when you get lazy that you end up getting burned. And,
even on platforms like eBay, Chrono24, or anywhere else, high seller reviews, low seller reviews, make sure to look into it.
Yeah, look into it and listen, buy the seller. I mean, a little hard for us because we buy from the public, but as many of you watching, I imagine, are just private watch collectors, the seller's more important. I mean, listen, if it's a $3,000 watch, I'd rather spend $200 more and buy from the guy with 200 5-star Google reviews than save $200 and buy from the guy with 3 4-star Google reviews. It just, do you want to go through the headache? You want to go through the hassle? Trust me, you're going to wish you spent that extra $200.
The amount of time Federico spent fighting the condo situation, we're talking like 80, 90 hours of documents and videos and so many things. There's so many things that come into play, and then you start bringing in other parties that are involved, like the delivery drivers, like the doorman, like the condo association, and the dentist and the dentist employers, and all of these
the
credit card companies.
Subpoenaing the building for CCTV footage. Like, get out of here. I mean, listen, it was a real pain in the butt. But it's the principle of the thing. But anyway, guys, I hope you found it entertaining at our expense. This is supposed to be entertaining, but also a cautionary tale. Just be careful. That's all. There's bad people out there. 99% of us are great, but, just that 1% you got to be careful for.
Fair
Right?
enough.
Guys, thank you so much. I hope everybody's staying safe and healthy. And, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really does help. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.